Hey, what's up guys? So I wanted to do something a little bit different, which is a one divine challenge. And what that is, you just make like a build that's one divine or less. And it's been really fun trying out like super budget options. And what I've came up with is a Snipe, Burning Arrow, Ignite, Elementalist. And it's been pretty good, I guess. Like you can clear G16s, do some Guardians, maybe do some Watchstones, but just a couple of clunky things about it. I don't know if more currency would solve it, but yeah, I'm happy with it right now at least. And the costs of stuff is right here. It's actually a little bit under budget, which is cool. Most of the cost was in the jewels actually, just because that's the way I'm scaling most of my damage, I guess. And the gear itself was super cheap. Like the most expensive item was just the ash ring, which is cool. And I didn't count like chromatics and shoulders and stuff, but yeah, I didn't use that much honestly. And the build idea is mostly based on Burning Arrow, which has a really high base hit, and that's really good for Ignite skills specifically. And there's also a support gem, Snipe, which you can get either from a helmet or just well, support gem, which makes it into a channeled skill. And this kind of gains stages the more you channel, and it hits 8 at max, and that does like triple damage pretty much. And around 2 stages it does the same damage as not using Snipe. So it's just a really high multiplier for one support gem. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm using a bow, try to get as much flat as I can. Get a quiver with like some damage life. That's pretty much it. So I am elementalist. It has the best synergy with ignite, mainly for Shaper of Flames, so I can get like flat, cold, or lightning and stuff like that on a bow as well to scale the ignite further. And yeah, it's just a really good generic ignite ascendancy. And the way I'm scaling my damage is mostly through golems actually. So elementalist gets these 2 nodes right here. Uh, and this one gives you extra effect per golem you have summoned. So I'm scaling as much max golems as I can. So I have 9 right now, which is almost a max. And the way I'm getting that is through like primordial chain, for example, gives +3. You can also get +2 from just from the ascendancies. You can get +1 from golem commander. And you can also get +2 from the Anima Stone, as long as you have like the amulet and 2 more primordial jewels, like these ones. And yeah, with those I have 9 golems, which means I have around 500-600% golem effect, which is pretty insane how much generic power they give. For example, Stone Golem gives you like 600% life regen, Lightning Golem 60% attack speed, 200% crit accuracy, bunch of damage, phase mitigation, and yeah, just really powerful stats, specifically for attack ignite builds. And another way to scale golem, your damage through golems is through Primordial Bond, cluster jewel mod, which gives you 10% damage per summoned golem, so 90% increased damage. And you can get this normally from a large minion cluster. But you can also get it from Megalomaniacs, which is pretty nice, so I'm grabbing 2 more from those. So yeah, just this small cluster gives me like 300% increased damage, but the small ones are minion damage, which you can convert it into your damage as well, thanks to Spiritual Aid. And the other way I'm scaling damage is just through like generic fire dot stuff, like fire dot multi, elemental overload, fire dot multi, ignite steal faster, some aura scaling, extra curse, and going all the way down, grabbing unwavering stance. And that's pretty much it. And since I'm using a bow, right, it has really high dex requirement. And since I'm elementalist, it's really hard to get that dex. So instead of trying to get like really expensive rares, like a +50 dex on everything, spending a lot of passive points, I just went for a Caspiro Elegant Hubris. And this gives me Supreme Ostentation. So I just don't have to worry about stats, which is pretty nice. And if I were to min-max this further, you could grab a million tattoos with like explosions and extra life and stuff like that. But yeah, out of my budget. And for the gear itself, I'm using only a couple of rares, like the bow, obviously, the quiver, some life, some damage. And I'm also using gloves, which is life resist, some energy shield for a extra mana pool thanks to EB. And the rest are just uniques, like Asylum for the Snipe, of course, Primordial Chain, Barracks of Spite for Prolif, Cloak of Flames for some mitigation, Polaric Devastation for Ash, and Daishan Dawn is really good for attack Ignite builds, and yeah, Legacy Fury for Scorch. And that's pretty much it. I guess, oh, I forgot to mention Golems are also really good for getting an extra aura for pretty much free, which is through Guardian's Blessing. So, since my Golems get resummoned every 4 seconds thanks to this, it means I can use Guardian Blessing. I have Chaos Golem, for example, Anger, and I can get the buff. And you can see the minion takes quite a while to die, actually. So yeah, just a really nice way to get an extra aura for most of the time. So the usually clearing feels pretty decent, even on just thanks to perks for Spite and the pro lifts and stuff. Yeah, so even though Snipe is pretty annoying to use, like even with my cast speed, the attack speed takes a while to charge up. It still feels fine, I guess. And I try to keep up Anger throughout the map just to get a little bit extra damage. Oh, and I also should mention that if you're playing on predictive networking, Snipe is pretty much unplayable. Like, it desyncs so much, and since we're shooting this little tiny arrow, oh jeez, we're shooting this one tiny arrow, and if there's even a little bit of desync, you can't get hit anything. So yeah, you have to play this on lockstep, I think. And for bosses, it's you wanna like Wave of Connection, Curse, then do a big max channel, hope for a good roll. And yeah, just keep doing that. Because the single target is not the greatest, not gonna lie. But just the playstyle itself, it's pretty safe. So it's not the worst bossing character. Oh, and this is also a hexproof, so... I guess the big problem is you can't hit the arrow on the boss. There's too much ads or something. Yeah, it gets the job done, I guess. And yep, that's the build. Bye.